Welcome to A Sip with Whiskey and Sweet Tea, the short show where your favorite movie-going beverages play games and sip on topics. We continue Schlocktober over Thanksgiving dinner with Sweet Tea meeting Eli Roth for the first time. Please be advised, spoilers are ahead.
Welcome back to Schlocktober, everybody.
Schlock.
So I thought we'd do something a little different. If you're just joining us, we do apologize that for this reaction video, there's no video. It's just going to be audio. It's just at the point in the show that we're at now. Hopefully in the future, we'll actually have video on us for the podcast. But for now, we are going to have...
H3?
Yeah, right? Well, I mean, I don't know. A lot of podcasts on YouTube seem to have
I call
cameras.
the house.
There's that. Anyway, so what we are doing, I thought this would be funny because you don't watch a lot of horror movies, and This is a pretty silly concept. So basically what this is, if you've heard of this, you know what it is. But for you, back in, I think, 2005, I could be wrong, maybe 2006 or 7, Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino did a double feature called Grindhouse. And they both did like kind of a silly, schlocky sort of, B movie each. Because it was a double feature, they had a bunch of famous directors do like fake trailers for upcoming schlocky attractions. You had Robert Rodriguez
Was my favorite person involved in this?
No, not at all. So you had Robert Rodriguez doing Machete, which he ended up making into an actual movie a few years later.
That's where Machete comes from.
So it was one of the fake trailers.
Okay.
So another fake trailer, you had Edgar Wright doing Don't. You had Rob Zombie doing Werewolf Women of the SS. And then this...
That's just I want to see that as a full length.
I do too. So this is Eli Roth. So he did Cabin Fever, Hostel, Green Inferno.
Did he do Spy Kids?
No, that's Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying it showed up on his recommended.
Robert Rodriguez did Planet Terror. So he was and Machete. So like he is friends with Quentin Tarantino, and they did this as a double feature.
And brief sidebar, just because I know this, he is from my hometown, which is why, if you watch Spy Kids, the headquarters is basically our public library downtown.
He's, from what I hear, is a nice guy. He actually accidentally tagged me on Facebook in something, which is a story for another time. But anyway, so this is one of the fake trailers. Eli Roth did this, so this was... in love with you. So this is after Hostel.
Okay.
So... just a warning, like, he's known for gore. Obviously, since this is like a fake trailer, you can't show a lot of gore.
Oh, good.
But
okay.
This is supposed to be like a fake slasher movie. And like, I think when we were talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, you mentioned, or maybe we were talking about like there's like horror movie like holiday spoofs.
Yes.
That's just a thing that like there's the Leprechaun movies. There's
The Ring,
and even like Wishmaster, it's a genie, so it's not even a holiday thing. Like they really like reached in a bunch of different things, but so there never really was a Thanksgiving slasher movie.
Oh yeah, actually I don't think you're right. Oh, except for Dawn of the Peckening.
Oh,
no, Dawn of the Peck is
there's also a horror movie from I believe Ireland called Black Sheep, where it's a bunch of murderous sheep zombies.
Why they gotta be black?
They're not black. Okay. It's just the title, because it's like...
Okay.
But anyway, so I thought that we would get your reaction to this, because I have a feeling it's going to be really funny. And if you have not seen this trailer before, I recommend maybe you see it so you have some context to the audio. Hopefully next time we're able to put up a clip of T or my face.
Well, we'll go ahead and we'll link this visual below.
All right, so hopefully you guys enjoy watching T react to this trailer. I have a feeling it's going to be somewhat amusing. Hopefully.
I hope so, because if it's not, I don't know. I'm going to throw this Snickers bar at you.
All right.
Okay.
This holiday season, prepare to have the stuffing scared out of you.
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Okay. What?
The town of Plymouth, Massachusetts, the fourth Thursday in November, is the most celebrated day of the year.
Okay.
The table is set. The festivities have begun. What uninvited guests have arrived.
Okay.
This year.
This turkey's the scariest part of this whole thing so far.
Wait.
I did not expect that.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. Oh, because, we have to have this because it's a horror film.
Dark meat.
That's from the early time
All will be
periods.
carved. Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Happy Thanksgiving, baby.
Okay, this this is uncomfortable.
Thanksgiving.
Cool it, Judy. You're safe. Mommy's here.
Okay. Oh god, these sounds.
It's blood.
Why are you tasting the body? Why?
Arrive hungry.
Happy Thanksgiving, Grandma.
Leave stuffed. From Rector Eli Roth. Thanksgiving. You'll come home for the holidays in a body bag.
Literally. That is probably the most uncomfortable things I've ever seen. I'm not sure. Why would you force me to watch this?
Because I was expecting a reaction, and you're more quiet than I expected, so maybe we won't do this as much in the
Well, no.
future.
Well, I think
But,
I think it's because I wasn't really quite. I wasn't
trampoline-
quite sure what I was looking at.
The
for a lot of this.
trampoline, I was expecting a reaction, and same thing with, like,
Well, you got one for that one.
yeah. Also, God, it's... So obviously this is, like, probably the more messed up trailers out of all of them, but it's to that point of just being so ridiculous to me that I thought this one was really funny when I saw it in theaters.
I was
especially like
I was grossed out.
the
a lot.
cooked person at the end was like,
Well, and also I love the stereotype of the oversexed teenagers for like for a majority of the trailer.
my favorite. Yeah, no, that was one of my favorites too. Literally, anytime she looked away, the guy would get decapitated. It was just like, oh, happy Thanksgiving, baby, and it's like,
Which, first off, who decides that's oh, okay. This made me very uncomfortable.
so you're saying you wouldn't want this one to be made?
No, I would not want this one to be made. Not in that form. Although I do think Thanksgiving could have. Well, actually,
Eli Roth is known for using a lot of gore, so I don't know if you would really like any of his movies. Maybe.
probably. But I will say this. I think I just realized this because if you think about it, all the other holidays for the most part have some sort of mascot or theme.
And they have.
And Thanksgiving really doesn't, which I think is why it's hard for them to make.
And I really can think of a slasher or a horror movie for every holiday. Halloween, you've got Michael Myers. You've got My Bloody Valentine. You've got the Leprechaun series. For Christmas, you've got a whole bunch of Killer Santa Claus.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one, but you've also got Santa Slays and like Krampus, which is a great movie.
I thought that was a comedy.
Santa Slays a little bit.
No, Krampus.
Krampus, not really.
Oh,
it's more like a family-friendly horror movie, like PG-13.
The new one, not the new one, or maybe that is the old one. I don't know.
Well, Krampus came out in like 2015.
Yeah, that one. I thought I was under the impression that was a comedy.
Not really.
Okay.
It's. I mean, it's one of the. If you see it as an adult, you won't be able to take it too seriously. But it's more of like a horror movie you can see as a family.
Okay.
Like it's just scary enough.
Well, I mean,
like,
okay. Actually, I think we need more of those. We need more family-friendly horror films.
So yeah, like honestly, just in general with the Grindhouse thing, I'm very disappointed that they didn't make more of the fake trailers because I would have liked to see Rob Zombie's Werewolf Women of the SS. I would have liked to see Edgar Wright do Don't. That's another trailer I considered maybe showing you.
This one really relies a lot on
gore and shock value, which is like Eli Roth.
It's just a lot on just the sound. There's so many just gross sounds. Even the guy's voice is gross sounding because it sounds like he's like gargling grease or something while doing this.
Hopefully it comes through.
They have the making of the Thanksgiving trailer right here in the suggested videos.
Well, that's neat. But yeah, like I don't know. So I take it you probably wouldn't want to see this.
I would not want to see this, and I kind of like that because because at least it leaves Thanksgiving to be a kind of a very innocent sort of holiday.
If you were going to make a Thanksgiving horror movie, how would you would it be a slasher or would it be like what would you do?
Oh, that depends. I really think if I were to do something Thanksgiving, I would take it back to either The Descendants or the ghosts of the Native Americans from where we, and I would
that
have
one
them,
would be cool actually.
I would have them come and seek vengeance. However, I would make it scary and not just shocking.
Yes. That's the one thing I did. I thought this whole trailer.
If I was truly to make this a horror film, I would not have anybody be. I would not just have it include just tons of oversexed teens. I would have it be likable characters that are inherently good, I guess because of that they've already atoned for that's not why they did, but they've already atoned really for the sins of their ancestors. Be brutally murdered so that it's really upsetting and disturbing, and it's not like you're not like, well, I can deal with it. That was gross, but I can deal with it because they were a sucky person. Because that's not horror. Because to me, horror.
Now really you're just selling me on Ari Aster should make a Thanksgiving horror movie. Ari Aster, Hereditary, Midsummer.
Well, okay, no, but I want it to be good. Okay.
Oh. Shots fired.
Fired.
I think he's a great director. But,
again, I've only seen Hereditary, and you watched that with me. And I know
that's because metaphor is utterly lost on you.
Metaphor is not lost on me. I'm not.
You take things literally all the time. But I don't know. This trailer's funny to me, but I like the Native American angle you came up with. That would be cool.
Well, because
the thing I liked about this fake trailer, I liked the killer looked like a pilgrim. That was kind of neat.
Actually, now that I think about it, I would also take this to where you could make it to where it's a white supremacist, racist person who. Maybe there's some sort of push to end Thanksgiving in its current form because of really the genocide it really kind of brought about, that whole idea. So maybe I would make it to some white supremacist killer who's targeting, native peoples, kind of like Canada's Highway of Tears. And they kind of have to fight back. That way it has a message, like get out.
Highway of Tears? Are you talking about the Trail of Tears?
No, Trail of Tears is a U.S. thing where we march the people to essentially their death from where they were living in the South.
What makes Canada's a highway?
Canada's Highway of Tears is a highway, I forget, between two places in Canada where a disproportionate and alarming amount of Aboriginal women are murdered along this highway. So the reason I said that because that involves like serial killers and targeting because of essentially their race. That's why I was like, it could be like sort of in that sort of vein. And then we could have that person be taken out, and then it's a commentary on systematic racism in our society and the many groups it affects. So you can do it both ways. I
think you're thinking too like good. Your ideas are too good because if it's gonna be like a holiday themed one, I feel like you should go with schlock. But your ideas are good.
We could have good holiday movies.
Sort of. You're gonna make like a horror movie called Thanksgiving. I feel like maybe going sillier is a better way of going.
I would call it Giving Thanks. I would call it Giving Thanks.
What about Mother's Day? What do you think for that?
See, Mother's Day.
Did you guys watch the trailer? Did you like the trailer?
I was uncomfortable the whole time.
Good for you.
But
what fake trailers from Grindhouse do you guys want to be made into a movie? I'm sure a lot of Edgar Wright fans are probably going to say don't. I'm right there with you.
I will say though that this as a concept is really interesting. This idea of creating these fake trailers for movies, I think is quite fascinating.
I want there to be a Grindhouse too. I really want them to get some of these these directors that made these fake trailers to actually make another double feature. Get some new directors to make some other fake trailers. I wish it would continue to be a series.
Well, one last thing I was to say is at least, this is interesting because this reminds me a lot of a trailer that when I saw The Exorcist on 35mm for the first time, it was an old cut, so it had the trailers from the time still attached to it. And there's one that was on it that I was like, this has to be fake. And I looked at, it's real. Yep. For a movie called, I think it's called The Pit, which you've probably heard of.
Wait, I think I might have.
This kid just decides he makes friends with essentially this hole in his backyard.
Okay.
He just decides to start pushing people in it to feed it.
Oh, wait, no, okay. Sorry, I was thinking of an older movie. Yeah, no, apparently The Pit is...
This kind of reminded me of that trailer because that trailer was so hokey and over the top that it was kind of like, that's pretty much it. Now, what's interesting, you'll be like, you're thinking too much about this, is why this particular family does he focus on? That's what I'm very curious on.
Well, we'd have to see the movie to find out. I would assume that the killer probably has some sort of vendetta or relationship to the family. That's usually the case with slasher movies, so I'm curious.
There's also the killer reminded me of somebody. What year did this trailer come out?
I think like 2006.
This is about 4 years later, so maybe the killer in this thing could have been inspired by that. There's actually an episode of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated where the killer or the monster is essentially a pilgrim that looks exactly like this one who goes around hunting people who he claims are not pure. So he's basically like a puritanical, like, slasher killer thing. It's weird. But he looks exactly like this.
You heard it here first, folks. Scooby-Doo ripped off Eli Roth.
But Scooby-Doo did it better.
Who knows? Ooh. This movie was never made, so you never know.
That's true. That is true. That's unfair. That's an unfair comparison. But I do love the fact that I'm watching, because I have the recommended feed now showing up with this, and I'm just seeing just the behind the scenes shot of the turkey right here, and then it's him, and then there's just all these people just gathered around him, clearly because it's like, okay, we're about to shoot the decapitation scene, which what was interesting about this, and I really think this added to the camp factor to it, is when he puts the head on. And it was like, so you see they put the head on the character, and obviously, and then it's like when they cut to him in the parade, then he's like a foot taller because they had the fake head on top of the walking person.
Yep.
So I thought that was an excellent really use of making that as obvious as possible to add to the camp factor. So that was kind of cool. This interesting concept made me very uncomfortable. Don't know if I'd watch it as a movie. Yes.
What is your...
My ideas are too good for holiday movies, apparently.
I think so. But what is your favorite schlocky holiday version of a horror movie? Let us know in the comments. Let us know which Grindhouse movie should be made if they make a sequel.
I will say my favorite schlocky horror film, actually, it isn't a holiday one, but my favorite schlocky horror film is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. The original, not the remake.
Is it about vampires?
No.
What's it about?
It's about a series of, to this day, unsolved murders in Texarkana.
Freaky.
Right? It's actually a tradition in Texarkana now. They show that on the anniversary of the murders. At a drive-in.
Fun. But let us know what you think. Please give us a comment if you enjoyed the show. Subscribe if you want notifications. Hit the bell. Thank you so much for checking this out, and
thank you for choosing to spend your Schlocktober with us.
Schlocktober.
See you in the next one.
See
Bye.
A Sip with Whiskey and Sweet Tea is a production of La Prince Laboratories. It is edited by Pat Mars and produced by Alejandro Castillo, with original artwork by Asa Sparza. Follow us on Twitter @ReelsOnTheRocks and tweet at us with any movies or topics you'd like us to discuss in the future.